He's not just Iran's supreme leader. Ali Khamenei is the billionaire behind the world's richest person. With a billion empire, gold reserves, private jets, and luxury estates hidden across continents, he lives like a king while his people starve. But now, Donald Trump is back and he's calling out Khamenei by name. Let's uncover 8 unbelievable truths about Ali Khamenei, and the last one will leave you speechless. Iran's real ruler, billionaire, supreme commander, untouchable. I have a poor soul, an incomplete body, and the little bit of dignity that you have given me, I will sacrifice it all for the revolution and for Islam. Those weren't the words of a rebel or a mystic. They were spoken by the most powerful man in Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, back in 2009. In the wake of President Ibrahim Raizi's sudden and dramatic death, the world is watching Iran with bated breath. Who will rise? Where is this volatile nation headed? But here's the secret Washington doesn't always spell out. The true power in Iran was never Raisi. It's always been one man, Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader with ultimate, unchecked authority over an empire of oil, ideology, and fear. Ali Khamenei isn't just a religious figure. He commands Iran's military, judiciary, and a financial empire reportedly worth over $100 billion. That's more than just money, that's leverage, influence, control. In a nation brimming with youth unrest, sanctions, and regional firestorms, every presidential chess piece moves at his nod. And now, with a power vacuum at the top, the question isn't who becomes president. It's what will Khamenei allow to happen next. Before the empire and billions, there was a boy in a basement. How did he rise from poverty to absolute power? Who is Ali Khamenei, the man behind Iran's throne? You may have heard his name whispered in the power, but few in the West truly understand the man who actually runs Iran. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, 86 years old, sharp as a scimitar, and still the supreme architect of one of the world's most complex geopolitical puzzles. On April 19, 1939, in the sacred city of Mashhad, Khorasan province, a future ruler of the Islamic Republic was born into stark poverty, Ali Khamenei. Ali was the second son of Sayyid Javad Khamenei, a humble, devout scholar who taught his family the virtues of simplicity and humility. Despite his religious standing, his father lived austerely most nights. Dinner consisted only of bread and a few raisins, lovingly prepared by his mother. Their home was no place. It was a cramped 65 square meter space with a single room and a pitch-black basement. From these frugal beginnings in Mashhad to empire cloaked in power, Khamenei's story is a dramatic portrait of contrasted journey from religious modesty to vast influence, leaving us to wonder, how does a boy from a single-room home become one of the world's most powerful men? Since stepping into power in 1989 after the death of revolutionary icon Ruhollah Khomeini, Khamenei hasn't just led a country, he's commanded a movement. One that has outlasted the Cold War, survived sanctions, cyber attacks, internal uprisings, and shadow wars with Israel and the US. Despite fierce opposition from both inside his regime and from the Iranian streets, the Wall Street Journal spells it out clearly: there is no one in Iran with more reach, more influence, or more raw, calculated power than Khamenei. He is the head of state, the commander-in-chief, the final voice behind every missile launched and every sanction defied. His grip is so absolute, it makes presidential power look like theater. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran created the position of supreme leader, a role so commanding, only male Shiite clerics of the highest rank can even qualify. And Khamenei, he isn't just qualified, he redefined the role. Today, he controls all branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. He commands the military, the intelligence apparatus, and even the national media, with over 2,000 hand-picked representatives embedded across every inch of government. Many of them wield more power than the president's own cabinet. Presidents in Iran are elected every 4 years. Khamenei, he's chosen once and rules until death. While the president may shake hands, sign deals, and make speeches, it is Khamenei who sets policy, greenlights wars, silences dissent, decides the nation's fate, foreign and domestic. And the kicker? He can do all of this without oversight. He alone appoints or fires the heads of the judiciary and national broadcasters. He can declare war or end one. And within Iran's powerful IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, his command is absolute. Every strike on Israel, every proxy war in the Middle East, they all begin at his desk. What do you think makes Ali Khamenei successful? Comment now. But even the most powerful man alive knows fear. And now he's vanished, shielded by a unit so secret, even his generals are in the dark. Hiding in plain sight, the man now protected by Iran's invisible army. He's ruled Iran since 1989, commands the empire, and controls everything from military strikes to media headlines. But today, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is no longer walking freely through the halls of power. According to insiders speaking with the Telegraph, Khamenei has been quietly relocated to a fortified, ultra-secure facility, and here's the bombshell. He's now guarded by a top-secret elite unit so covert, even senior RGC commanders had no clue it existed. This shadow force wasn't formed to display strength. It was born out of pure fear. Tehran knows, or at least believes, that Israeli intelligence has burrowed deep into its system. So deep that only a unit invisible even to their own government could be trusted to protect the supreme leader. He's not cowering in a bunker, one Iranian official admitted, but he knows his life is in danger. And he should, because with Israel eliminating senior military officers and nuclear scientists in pinpoint strikes, the message couldn't be clearer. Khamenei's name is on the list. The stakes hit a new high after a missile tore through a hospital in Beersheba. Israel's rhetoric turned surgical with no more hints, no more ambiguity. President Donald Trump, in a rare former and pointed jab, revealed that while he previously vetoed an Israeli plan to assassinate Khamenei, he now calls him an easy target. And while the US officially claims it has no immediate plans to strike, the phrase "not for now" lingers like a loaded weapon. This isn't just geopolitics. This is the story of a man who once declared he would sacrifice his soul for Islam, now hiding behind a ghost army, in fear that martyrdom may arrive not by choice, but by drone. As the walls close in and Israel sharpens its sights, it has vanished from his known residence and is now under the cloak of an elite, top-secret protection unit so classified that even Iran's own military elites were left in the dark. This stunning revelation, exposed by the Telegraph, paints a chilling portrait, an 86-year-old supreme leader no longer untouchable, now sheltered in an undisclosed location, watched 24/7 by a unit designed not for ceremony but for survival. Intelligence in Tehran believes Israeli operatives have penetrated deep into the regime, and the fear isn't paranoia, it's survival instinct. After all, in just 1 week, Israel has taken out 11 senior Iranian officers and 14 nuclear scientists. That's not just pressure, it's a message. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has labeled Khamenei the modern Hitler. Prime Minister Netanyahu has made the endgame chillingly clear. Eliminating Khamenei might be the shortcut to ending the decades-long conflict. The stakes? Nothing short of regional transformation. And now, Iranian insiders confirm that Khamenei isn't using cars too risky. His current broadcasts come from a studio backed by brown curtains and shadowy portraits nowhere near his traditional seat of power. Video analysts believe he's relocated to a fortified complex possibly tied to the RGC media hub in central Tehran, likely housed underneath or near the site to evade detection and escape a fate he's long believed was inevitable: martyrdom. With Trump back in power, the question is no longer if, but when. Is a surgical strike already in motion? Could Trump greenlight a hit on Khamenei? The strike plan the target? Could the US actually help take out Iran's supreme leader? That question no longer belongs to Hollywood thrillers. It's being whispered in war rooms from Tel Aviv to Washington. President Donald Trump, now back in office, as of 2025, once vetoed an Israeli plan to assassinate Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But this week, his tone shifted from restraint to veiled threat. "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding," Trump said. And then came the kicker: we have no plans to target him, at least not for now. Those final 4 words are dynamite. Trump didn't shut the door. In fact, he cracked it wide open. He called Khamenei an easy target, a chilling hint that military options remain on the table, ready to launch the second intelligence tilts in favor. So how would a strike even work? Former Israeli National Security Advisor Yaakov Amidror gave a rare, raw glimpse into the playbook if Khamenei is holed up in a bunker airstrike, if he's hiding in an apartment drone. And while Khamenei may shun phones and laptops, his inner circle doesn't. Every encrypted text, every whispered call, all can be intercepted. Advanced Israeli AI software sifts through the noise, builds behavioral maps, and begins to isolate the pattern. Like watching a ghost leave footprints in the digital snow, behind the robe and sermons lies an empire of cars, cash, and palaces. His lifestyle is anything but humble. From cleric to billionaire, Ayatollah Khamenei's $1.2 billion empire, private mansion supercars exposed. You might picture Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as a stoic religious figure cloaked in modesty. But behind the black turban lies a financial empire built not on prayer but power. Officially, Khamenei earns a modest salary, the equivalent of $2,400 to $6,000 a month. But dig deeper, and the numbers explode. Through layers of shadow businesses, real estate, religious trusts, and foreign accounts. His real annual income is estimated between $12 million and a staggering $120 million. And what does one of the world's most powerful men do with all that wealth? He lives in a private mansion located on Palestine Street in central Tehran, a fortress of luxury. The estate is dripping with modern opulence, grand gardens, opulent bedrooms, a massive study, private library, high-end car garage, and security fit for a head of state. Think Versailles meets CIA bunker. And when it comes to cars, forget humility. Khamenei reportedly owns a BMW 7 Series worth around $240,000, a sleek Mercedes-Benz SL priced at approximately $300,000, a Porsche Cayenne valued at $180,000, and a rugged Mitsubishi Pajero worth another $240,000. That's nearly $1 million in luxury rides alone. This isn't just a life of wealth, it's a paradox. A man who preaches resistance and austerity commands a lifestyle that rivals Hollywood royalty and Gulf oil barons. His salary might say cleric, but his empire screams monarch. And the family, richer than royalty, running Iran like a cartel, one fortune at a time. The $5 billion first family of Iran inside Ali Khamenei's lavish bloodline empire. While ordinary Iranians scrape by under crushing poverty, the family of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, lives like oil-drenched royalty. Reports reveal a jaw-dropping financial empire spread across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, with billions of dollars flowing through offshore accounts, gold vaults, and real estate empires. At the top of this shadow dynasty is Mojtaba Khamenei, the supreme leader's second eldest son, whose personal fortune exceeds $3 billion. From gold and diamonds valued at $300 million to kickbacks on every barrel of oil sold, $1 for China, $15 for the rest of the world, Mojtaba has turned corruption into an art. He owns private jets, helicopters, racehorses, and the largest mall in Iran. Former RAGC commander and now Tehran Mayor Mohammad Bagher Kalibaf handed him thousands of hectares in Abbas-Abad as a gift, a real estate coup worthy of royalty. Meanwhile, Masoud Khamenei, the third son, manages his father's digital empire, including Khamenei's personal website. But behind the screen lies a darker portfolio, $400 million stashed in French and UK banks, another $100 million in Tehran, and full control of Renault's sales in Iran. The youngest son, Mesam Khamenei, shares in the loot. With over $200 million to his name, he rakes in millions from Renault's sales and plays a key role in the family's sprawling business operations. His trade liquidity alone is worth $10 million, used to manipulate Iran's domestic markets. And the daughters? Boshra Khamenei, married to the son of Khamenei's powerful chief of staff, sits on an estimated $100 million. Hoda, the youngest, is more discreet but equally lavish. Known for her obsession with jewelry and fashion, she runs a luxury women's salon from her home, with a net worth also pegged at $100 million. Then there's Hassan, the supreme leader's uncle, quietly pocketing 7% of Sony's $600 million annual sales in Iran. He controls broadcasting tech procurement for Iran's state TV and serves as the exclusive Sony rep across the country. This isn't just a powerful family, it's a dynastic cartel built on oil, repression, and unchecked privilege. While sanctions choke the nation and its youth dream of escape, the Khamenei's are flying high literally on private jets, surrounded by diamonds, cash, influence few monarchs can match. Now cornered and humiliated, Khamenei must choose between pride or survival. But can a master of deception fake strength forever? Khamenei's last stand? The $95 billion gamble to survive Trump's final ultimatum. It was Wednesday, June 18, 2025, and the world witnessed something almost surreal. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, didn't appear live. Instead, a frail, visibly tense figure emerged in a pre-recorded video, breaking protocol in a way that felt more like a distress signal than a show of strength. There were no grand declarations, no defiant rallies, just a weary man in simple robes, staring into the camera, pleading not with words but with presence, "I'm still alive." This wasn't a display of dominance. It was a carefully crafted illusion of stability. The propaganda machine, usually so polished, showed cracks. The supreme leader of a $95 billion regime looked cornered. And behind the scenes, a desperate bid to hold on to power, even if it meant swallowing the bitter pill of humiliation. Khamenei's latest assessment is as chilling as it is revealing. To save himself and, more crucially, to save the regime, he may have to endure the ultimate Persian disgrace, surrendering with shame. He has instructed his envoys to quietly seek talks, even signaling to Donald Trump through Qatar. But Trump, in vintage fashion, exposed the back-channel attempt publicly, humiliating Khamenei on the global stage. They even offered to come to the White House, he posted. Tehran denied it, but the damage was done. Trump isn't just playing tough, he's rewriting the playbook. Khamenei once dictated the terms in nuclear negotiations. Now, he's facing a demand for unconditional surrender. And he knows the threat is real. Trump's social media blasts, threats of targeted strikes, and warnings that we know exactly where the supreme leader is hiding are not empty words, they're strategic humiliation. And Khamenei knows, culturally, psychologically, that shame breaks the strong. But here's the paradox. Shame might be the only path forward. Khamenei can't appear to grovel, yet he's desperate to reopen talks. He's using every level of influence, dispatching Foreign Minister Iraqi to Geneva, relying on pressure from France, Germany, and Britain, and hoping Russia or China will request diplomacy, giving him political cover. At the same time, Israel is moving fast. Their strikes have crippled command centers and nuclear sites. The IDF even invited volunteers to aid Mossad online. This isn't just warfare, it's psychological warfare. And Reza Pahlavi, the exiled prince, is waiting in the wings, building momentum as Khamenei's image fractures inside and outside Iran. Khamenei is bleeding advisors, his power base is fractured, and the Iranian people, exhausted by decades of propaganda and economic ruin, are watching. His greatest fear isn't a bomb. It's a camera catching him pleading. So now, he orchestrates a delicate maneuver, allow Trump to win, give the appearance of concession, pause enrichment, offer enough to halt strikes without losing total face. In return, he buys survival. Trump gets to declare a bloodless victory. And the regime lives to deceive another day. But let's be clear, in Iran's doctrine, deception is permitted if it advances Islam. So even if a new deal is inked, Iran's nuclear ambitions will not die. They will only be hidden, delayed, reconfigured. The true danger isn't what's declared, it's what's disguised. This is the geopolitical high-wire act of the decade. One man, worth billions, holding a nation hostage to preserve a legacy built not on peace but power. The only question left is, how long can he fake strength before the shame consumes him? What do you find most impressive about Ali Khamenei? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like this video, subscribe so you never miss a new story about the world's most fascinating people. Thanks for watching.